Hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing very, very well. I'll wait a minute before people are coming online. Give a minute for people to connect. We are here at the Eco Park Buenos Aires. I'm tripping over things as I'm walking backwards. Alright guys, so we're here at Eco Park Buenos Aires. We were working with Pupy to get her ready for her elephant transfer, her voyage to Elephant Sanctuary Brazil. Everything had been going really well. It's actually still going really well, but she just won't let the door be closed. She's just too insecure still. We arrived here about 6 days ago, and we were... they were really close to closing. We actually thought they were closing it more, was the report we had. They thought they had closed the door all the way. They hadn't closed it quite. It didn't make the noise of closing. And when that started happening with them actually closing the door, that's when she started getting concerned. So we left it the same as it was for a few days, just with a little bit of guidance. And then about 3 days ago, we completely switched it up and started desensitizing in a much different way, introduced all kinds of different things. The chains that we're using to make noise, chains to move gates, opening and closing windows, just making a bunch of noise to desensitize her to movement. The movement that was happening around the crate was really subtle. It was really slow, and anytime she had a reaction, they would just stop or reset the training. And we kind of encourage them to let those interactions happen, let her step back and process. And on the first day of the change, there's several times that she stepped back, and a couple of times they wanted to call her back in right away. I said, no, let her think. And you could see her stop and think, and then when she was ready to come back in, I'd say, okay, now, you can call her back or say, no, we're here for you still. And then she would come back in, and they started to see that change of what it meant to give her that space to make the decision, give her the time to process. And it was kind of illuminating for the caregivers to really see that time of being pensive and analyzing and processing it all. And it was really great to see that transition for them and for her starting to be listened to a little bit differently and seen a little bit differently, and for the caregivers to not be so fearful of anything new, because even though Kookie may get upset or she kicks the gate or hits the gate, that's kind of African behavior. It's a little bit of response and reaction, and then she's like, okay, I'm fine. And sometimes she would go hit the gate as she did earlier, and then she hits the gate, and then she goes, right back into the crate and hanging out in the crate and almost sleeping. So the crate's great. She loves the crate. She has time to respond. She has time to react. And then she just settles back in. So we have reached a point where we said we just can't keep going on this way, and building the trust that she needs, building the confidence that she needs to be able to close the gate within the next couple of days. It's really just, we're not making the progress that we'd like for our comfort to be able to say, yes, she's ready for transfer. And so it was very clear at the end of the day today. We had said, let's do one more try. Let's see how she is. And her back feet were further out, further back than she had ever been all day. And it made it very clear, okay, you're telling us no. And this is when we say that, choice is nice, and we all love choice. We want to give them choice, and it's something that's celebrated that we give them choice, right up until they don't want to do what we all want, which is to get her to sanctuary. And she's just not ready, but that's her choice. And that's part of it also. We talk about it all the time, giving her that choice to say no. And that's where we are. So we had actually great conversations today with the Eco Park team. About several different things, about some medical suggestions, about this assessment of some of her behavior, about how next steps with her crate conditioning. It may be that the crate moves. They might introduce different items. They may change how the gate is is how, sorry, I just got distracted. Change how the gate is configured. We'll look at that and just see what we can do to help give her more comfort. Somebody just said, can she back in? Yeah, she could, but that would be her choice. You know, like Gijamina did. Gijamina wants to adjust the world backwards. But that's not how Pupy processes. You know, she's not going to just turn around and back up, it seems like. She wants to go face first, and she loves the crate being first. It's only when you go to start moving the gate, that feeling of being closed in when she's not ready to be fully closed in. I think it's just a fear of what she doesn't know versus actually what it's going to feel like. And it's actually it's actually very similar to the caregivers and the fear of the unknown. And that was holding the caregivers back with trying different things and making different noises and being more flexible and more deliberate with some of their desensitization. It was really subtle, and no one wanted to make a wrong move because they were afraid of what might go wrong. And I think that's where we are with Pupy as well. She's just afraid of what might go wrong, or what might happen, or what it might feel like, instead of thinking that, look, I love my crate. You know, she's great in it. It's just that last step. So this is also a place that some facilities would sedate, or they would use some other type of force. That doesn't have to be that way. You know, she's just emotionally not quite ready. So we're just going to go a little bit more time. We do have to get back to the sanctuary. We do have things to do, have other things that are waiting that can't be adjusted, but she's in good hands. So Jennifer asked, do we have to leave her? Yeah, but she's in really good hands, and the team now has a completely different perspective on so many elements of this. I've had several people coming up to the last couple of days, and they said, gee, everything has changed at how they look at her and how they look at her capacity and how much they have evolved in their responsibility for holding her back in the past, and realizing that how much they've held her back. So there's a big different perspective. There's just a lot that has been discussed. This is, you know, a lot of time with her has also been with her caregivers and getting the opportunity to express so much of what she is going through, and so much of the subtlety and so much of the nuance, and how much we can learn from her and how much we can see her and listen to her, and in doing so better understanding what our role is in helping them. And sometimes it's just simply by acknowledging the answer is no. Okay, I can accept no. The answer is not now. Okay, we can accept not now. I'm not ready. Okay, we can accept I'm not ready. And if that's what it takes, you know, to let them feel more comfortable, okay, let's do that. That's what sanctuary is all about, right? You know, we talked about it before. Sanctuary starts long before they arrive at the sanctuary. This is about changing that perspective. It's about giving them a different voice. It's about us seeing them differently. It's about us recognizing their complexity and recognizing our own complexity at the same time. And there's so many nuances about it, but you know, just giving her the time and space to recover. Somebody said, is she claustrophobic? I don't think so. I think it's more just that feeling of being trapped and not feeling safe with that closure. I think she was surprised when the gate was closed initially, and that created a little bit of fear, and she just hasn't been able to get over that. Again, we thought the gate had been closed earlier. We realized that only one time it had been fully closed. And then since then it was only, you know, partially closed, never fully closed. So it just she wasn't quite ready. Somebody said poco a poco, little by little. Yep, little by little, one step in front of the next. You just have to take time, man. You know, we just have to take time. You know, it's hard not bringing her home, but at the same time, we have to honor her voice first. Yeah. Some of her caregivers will travel with her, not all of them, because they have a lot of other responsibilities here, but definitely some of them will. Yeah, and somebody just said, Angie Jean said, it'll happen when she's ready. Absolutely. Everyone, we're walking away with a team that is probably more committed than ever, They are uniquely committed to this process. Sorry, it's getting really dark here. I'm gonna have to go. We actually have to pack up a lot of things that we had prepared, and we're going to be heading back to the sanctuary. Somebody said, if the crate is closed, will she open it herself and go in? She actually today had the gate pushed all the way inside, and then she backed up and opened the gate so she could go in fully. And she did that multiple times. She was in charge of the gate today. The gate was actually swinging by her command more than letting us do it. She was opening it and she was closing it, and then she was opening it and closing it. It was all on her. But if it started to move when she was in, she would back out quickly. If we did anything that made the gate move, even without perceivable noise, she would back out quickly. She was any little subtle movement back there, and you could see she's out of the corner of the eye watching sideways all the time. So, yeah, I mean, we could go round and round with all of these elements, but bottom line, she's not ready. We have to listen to her voice. Somebody just asked about permits. We're all good on the permit front. We've already had some really good discussions throughout the whole week. Tom on this side and Dolo on this side, and then Danny and Simone and others on the other side, in Brazil side. They've been making so many phone calls, contacting everybody from every entity that they could at the border crossing, letting them know that it might be late on Friday, it might be early on the Saturday, and they all kept saying, anything you need, anything you need, anything you need. They're all there for everything that we needed. So the only restriction is truly her not being ready, and we just have to honor that first. That's what we are all about. That's what Sanctuary is. So with that, it's getting dark. We still have a lot that we need to go wrap up and pack up, and have a few more conversations, but everything's really, really good. And yeah, we're going to be on our way. So we'll talk soon. You guys take care. Thanks again for following. We're all a little bit upset that we're not able to say, yes, let's make it happen. But at the same time, everyone's feeling really, 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 really positive about how we're walking away and the voice that she's had in this and how everybody has embraced that. So hope you guys feel the same way. Her voice matters most. And when she's ready, we'll be ready. We'll be in close contact with the team here, as we have been for years, and we'll go from there. All right, you guys take care. Lots of love, big hugs, and ciao for now. We'll talk to you from Brazil at some point soon. Take care. Ciao.